ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to Some Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. And you know it is Tribeca month here in New York City with some of the greatest, biggest, most exciting films. Fior Di Latte comes to Tribeca, and I'm so excited to talk to Tim. Tim is here, but he doesn't have that Italian last name that he's going to know how to make a piece of cheese or some milk or I need the scoop. I need the full podcast, comedian, singer. He does everything, everybody. Millions of people are out here listening and giggling and laughing, and now your film is here at Tribeca. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Oh, thanks for having me, Robert. It's a pleasure.
I expect a laugh a minute, Tim. I need to be bowled over, just hysterically laughing because you're funny.
Oh my God, Robert, you're in for such a disappointing experience with me. It's just not how I operate.
That's
No
okay.
one puts a gun to my, can I curse?
You sure can.
No one puts a gun to my fucking head and tells me to be funny.
You know what? Just out of spite, out of that expectation from me, I expect you to just be sad and depressing for the next 15
I'm
minutes.
really bummed out. I'm in New York and it's raining out and
I
I
heard.
just don't want to be here right now, this city's let me down once again. I'm just kidding. I'm having so much fun here in this town. I'm down in Chinatown. I'm going to see Broadway shows. I'm at the film festivals. I'm going to meet people for lunch. I'm living living this, not a celebrity life.
You
I don't
are.
like to say that word, but just living like showbiz life. And I used to live in New York when I had nothing and no one knew me and I was nobody and I'm back and they're calling me the king of New York.
I mean, you come back to New York for a homecoming at Tribeca. You're
Mhm.
now, since then, you're an Adult Swim superstar. You're a podcast superstar. You're a Marvel superhero.
MCU officially, and I'm not a superhero, one of the civilians
But
in one of
still,
the movies, but very big deal. It's a very, very big deal, and everybody's talking about it, especially people on Broadway.
before we talk about your film, did you
Yeah.
see, do you have it's Tony week. Did you have a did you see something great on
Well, I
Broadway?
saw Glenn Ross with and everybody in the cast. First of all, Bob Odenkirk
Your
is one of my
buddy.
dear friends and one of the guys that is responsible for my life, my professional life. And I got to see him front and center, killing it, and it was very moving. And I was unfortunately impeding the view of one of my other heroes, Henry Winkler, who was sitting behind me, the Fonz, and I was like trying my best to stay low because the seating wasn't great. I have to tell you, if you've been to that theater, it's too. There's not. It needs to be. The stage needs to be higher. I'm sorry. So that's that. I forget what the question was, but that's what I saw on Broadway, and I loved the show. It's one of my favorite movies. I never saw the play before, but fantastic.
Well, we love your work. We love all the work that you do, your writing and everything. So I'm ready for your theater piece to come out and be in New
I
York.
need to do a Broadway show. It seems like it's close. There's something out there I could do. I haven't figured it out. I got to put the work in. It doesn't seem. It seems like it seems like comedy. There needs to be better comedy on Broadway.
Agreed. Well, who
But I
better
haven't
than
seen O'Mary, and I know Cole, and I'm sure that's terrific. I'm sure that that deserves all the awards it's getting and everything. I can't wait to see it, but I don't know if I ever will because I don't know when I'm going to be back.
because he's booked people. He's busy. He's got a lot
Right.
of things going on. You
Yeah.
have a film that we're talking about. Fior Di Latte. You are in this film. You're a frustrated playwright. They call it experimental. They call it obviously a comedy. They call it very New York. But what is experimental? Tell us about the people who haven't seen it, about your
Oh.
trip on an Italian
Well,
summer
you know
vacation.
what? I just saw it for the first time last night, and it's just a real weird, trippy, fun, experimental. I think experimental is great because it doesn't feel. It feels like it's its own thing. It's its own little. It's Charlotte Ercole film, and she's such a young talent and um, a visionary, and just and has her own sensibility, and she's it's come, but it is coming from this tradition of like old 30s slapstick, almost like Looney Tunes style Jacques Tati and uh, Preston Sturges and Lubitsch and all these guys like that. If like there is a connection to the old style of comedy in it, but then it's got a David Lynchy kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
got it's really bizarre and slapsticky, but I don't know. I think it's a very small movie in the sense that it was, it's like an independent film. It's like a little movie that feels very handmade. It feels like a movie you would get at the farmer's market,
Well,
if
that's
they sold movies, and they don't do those movies anymore. Damn it, Robert.
what I'm
And
saying.
and now this is out, and well, it's at the Tribeca Film Festival. We'll see if anybody has the balls to buy it and put it out there on Temu or Vimeo or Mubi or Netflix. Any of these motherfuckers who want to come up and show that they care about art, they're going to get involved with this movie.
Tim, I think it's going to be sold by the end of the week. I really do. And I don't mean just by a streaming service. I mean, we need good art movies that are in the movie theater. We
Yes.
need good original pieces of work.
And this was, and the movie Friendship that my friend Tim came out with a couple months ago reminds us, and I think this is a good another movie that fits into that category, which is watching it with 300 people in the movie theater last night. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was experiencing it together. It's hard to have those experiences anymore. And this movie, you kind of it benefits from being seen with a bunch of people and everyone kind of reacting to it and laughing and cringing and hiding under their chairs. So yes, I agree. I think it should definitely be in movie theaters all across America.
Well, I love that this is a first-time director and an all-star. I mean, you talk about a cast of people in your first
Absolutely.
film. What's it like to work with Kevin Kline and Gina Gershon and Julia Like this is A-list cast.
Absolutely. For Kevin Kline, GOAT, what do they say? GOAT,
Yeah, the
greatest
GOAT.
of all time. That's the
The GOAT.
expression. He's my hero growing up. He's like who I wanted to be actor wise. He's just one of the greats. And he was as good as you get, and not only on set but off set. Just a dream of a man, a person I aspire to be, and he was just lovely, and we got along great. And everybody else was great too. It was, some people are dropping in just for a day, and they're not sure what the vibe of the movie is. And it's a very like it's one step up from a student film in the sense of what it's like to be on set. It's like we're running and gunning and we're shooting on film and there's no time and so and there's no trailers and you're changing in a bathroom somewhere. So it is some people got to like and someone like Julia who's got her whole thing going on, like she had to reorient to that kind of filmmaking, and she did, and she was great. And she was like, and there's a scene where we're in a car together, and it's very weird and uncomfortable and claustrophobic. And I think she was like, kind of had that moment of like, okay, this is what's happening right now, and I'm going to uh, adjust my attitude and have fun with this. It's going to be fun. And she was very fun.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for people to check it out. If you can follow it, follow along. We're going to follow you. We're going to follow everything. We're going to put the word out about this film so that when it's streaming or sold, somebody's going to pick this baby up. Can you imagine having Kevin Kline do your like a practically a student film? Like literally Kevin Kline shows up on you.
And I don't want the headline here to be that it's like a student film. I'm
No.
just saying the experience of being on set is some of these movies
Yes,
are very small, but it's a very accomplished, professionally produced film in the final product.
absolutely. No, absolutely. Where did you shoot this? Was it shot in Italy?
Well, there was a scene. There was a few days of shooting in Italy. So there's like there's some scenes in Italy in Florence, but 90% of the movie was here in New York City, right? And I mean, we were closing down West Fourth Street in front of Cafe Wha for a couple of days. We were on Sixth Avenue. We were shooting in Queens. We were up in the Perfume District in Midtown. I mean, we were everywhere, and that's the most fun. If you could get a chance to be in a movie where you're running around New York City shooting movie, it's like, I mean, that's where I grew up watching those movies. I love all those. I love a good New York movie, and just to be in one, it's really crazy. It's really stressful for production as we're shutting close to say, hold please, just wait one more, thank you, moving people through shots in Midtown. Like, wow, it was very exciting. Great adrenaline.
Well, I'm excited for people to check it out and all of the projects that you have coming. You keep yourself pretty busy.
You got to. What's the point of sitting around and watching reality TV shows? You got to get out there and work with your friends and make fun stuff and be a goofball and try to make a living doing it. It's very hard, but it's a lot of fun.
What do you call you? Are you an actor? Are you a comedian? Are you a singer? Are
Call me
you?
whatever you want, Robert. I don't care. I'm a baseball player during the day.
Oh,
I play
okay.
for the LA Dodgers, and that keeps me pretty busy. But most of my hobbies are acting, music, and podcasting.
You're from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and you now root for the Dodgers?
I have to, yeah. I mean, I've been in LA for 20 years, and my kids grow up there, and they're on the TV, and I get to go to the games. So you can't. I don't like. I reject the idea that you're just committed to. You're sort of bound to a team based on where you were born. Although if the Phillies are in the World Series, of course I'm rooting for them, and of course I support the Philadelphia Phillies and all they do and all they achieve to do, unless they're playing the Dodgers, in which case I do have a preference between those two.
Okay, I get it. Because see, I moved to Detroit 10 months ago to marry my husband, and I'm from New Jersey, and I've been a Yankees fan since birth, as some are. And I
Right.
said to him, "Look, I could cheer for the Lions, but I am not rooting for the Tigers."
I get it. I mean, I'm still an Eagles fan from a football perspective. I never attached myself to the Rams or any of that, or the Chargers. So, um, yeah, it's a weird thing. I just love baseball, and listen, it doesn't hurt that the Dodgers happen to be a very good team, and Shohei Ohtani is very fun to watch, and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and all the rest. So I like winning teams. I don't like, it's like our president says, we don't like losers. We like winners. So
Listen, you got this little gay dude to talk baseball and football on this show, so you win. Like you should get an award. Kudos for that. Is a
thank you.
first.
And
There's a
people
first
love
for
people
this.
love hearing guys talk about sports. So this could be the big breakout episode.
This is gonna be it. This is the one that's gonna rival your podcast for views. So y'all better watch out. I'm coming for your numbers. I'm coming for them. So what can we expect? We can follow you on social media.
Absolutely. I don't follow. I'm not on that X platform run by that
No.
Nazi. I got off of
Okay.
that crap. That's for the worst people in the world. But I'm on the second worst person in the world is Mark Zuckerberg, that guy seems like he's got big problems and is causing a lot of problems. But I'm still attached to his stupid site, Instagram, and that's usually where I post crap that people get mad about. So you can follow me there. But if you really want to follow, you just go over to the Office Hours Live broadcast. That's on all the podcasts on YouTube, youtube.com/Office Hours Live. And use Google to search my name. You'll have so much fun doing it.
You sure will. He's amazing. I want you to listen to his music. Like I think you all need to really listen to his
Get on the
parody.
streaming sites and listen to the music and go down to Sam Goody and buy the CDs.
Why say that? And see, now you are from the East Coast because that was a throwback to me. You gotta go find some Puss Whip Gang Bang Gang music out there that he
That'd
wrote
be
from back
great.
in the day. It's a classic.
Thank you.
I think, and yes, I will come on your podcast anytime. You don't have to stop. You could stop emailing me and begging me. I will do it. I
Well, we're
finally,
pretty booked up, but definitely
fine,
looking
Tim.
into early next year for some new guests,
Hence,
new
right.
episodes.
Have your people call my people. It was such an honor. I'm so excited. You're such a trip. You're so much fun. I'm so
Thanks,
excited
Robert. I had fun.
for the film. Fior Di Latte is going to be at Tribeca. Get the last screenings and stay up to date so you can see it when it's out streaming or when it's out somewhere. It's going to come out somewhere, y'all. So we're going to
It
stay up to
will
date.
definitely come out.
And we got to stay up to date with all the things that he's doing. All the links and information to follow will be below us. It's an honor. Have a great day. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of New York.
Thanks, Robert.
Well,
Thanks,
welcome
Dave.
to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. And you know it is Tribeca Month over here in New York City. It's the biggest film festival that New York has. And we're so honored to partner with some of these films. And this documentary, everybody, is something that is a must-see that you need to hear all about. And I'm so excited to have the director and the subject of the documentary to tell us all about it. It's called Watch Over Us. And we're so excited to welcome Carlos Garcia and Victoria Lopez to the roundtable. Thank you all for being here.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
for
having
having us.
us.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, before we get to Victoria and her amazing story and the
Hmm.
bravery she has to tell this story in this documentary at
Yeah.
Tribeca, people,
Mhm.
Carlos, how did the story come to you?
So I first read it was actually an article that Victoria wrote on the Marshall Project. So I read this article. The title of the article was I've a new Minnesota law gave me 1 year to stay home with my babies, but then I'll have to report to prison. How will I say goodbye? That was kind of the headline. And that question was like, how will you say goodbye? How is this, that question was the movie, basically. And the article, even as a written piece, was very strong. And obviously, I contacted John James, who's my producer, and immediately we both thought it was an important story, and we started making calls to get to Victoria.
And that's what I was going to say, Carlos. I'll have to reach out to Victoria. So, Victoria, are you just home one day or wherever you were in this moment, and you hear from people saying, "Hey, can we make a documentary?"
Funny thing is I thought it was spam. My lawyer kept emailing me, Derek Hansen, and it kept saying, these guys want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, he's spam hacked. He's been hacked. I'm not opening that. And then he calls me and he's like, why are you not answering my emails? And I'm like, you've been hacked. I'm like, I don't want to get hacked too.
So, Carlos, how do you approach a subject like Victoria to show that you're the person to do this? Because she has to
Mhm.
really trust you. I mean, she's going to open up her
Yeah.
life to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the biggest thing was that because I read the article and I talked to John James and we were like, okay, this is a powerful story, but now the next step is the hardest, which is, talking to Victoria. There's so many things there that are very delicate, The first one being, is she going to be wanting to share the story? And a lot of times in documentary filmmaking, people think they want to share their story. But then it's a different thing when a camera is in your face and you're going through stuff that is obviously extremely hard. So that was always the big question mark. But we took a leap of faith. Victoria said, "Yes, let's do some filming." And when we got to Albert Lee and started filming, we realized, she was very generous and open to anything, open to cameras, open to telling her story, quote unquote, the right way, in the sense that she was an open book, like she always says. And, without that, even though the story itself is powerful, without that, there's not really a movie.
So, Victoria, tell us, without giving away the whole documentary, what about your journey? What is the story that this film tells?
This tells well, as Carlos was saying, in that article, my biggest question that I had after being sentenced was, how do I prepare to leave my babies that had never been away from me, not a day? um my youngest. And so it really is like walking alongside me as I not only stay on a journey of recovery and just keep that leap of faith, that everything was going to work out as long as I kept pushing forward. And I have and had a team and a wonderful community of individuals and family and friends just supporting me. And so when John and Carlos came into our lives, um, it really was, for me, it was like, oh my God, somebody finally heard me. Um, because I literally sought out to like build that connection with anyone. Like I stay up every night, all night long, late, like Googling and searching, like who can stand alongside me and hear me to try to help make awareness for this kind of situation. And so, yeah, it was first I thought it was spam, and then I was super, super grateful and super honored, and just really, really excited to make that connection.
Victoria, what do we, after your experience and going through what you've been through with this law, with spending the year with your children, with your journey, the ups and downs of your journey, what don't we understand as a general public about the stigma of what you went through in the criminal justice system and what it means to leave we have this misconception, this stereotype of what people that have gone through what you go through look like. What do you wish we knew?
That even through addiction and even in recovery, the biggest stigma was like when I was away, um, you're like, I have no ID number. So in the prison, the staff there, not like the service, like not the programming staff, but like the general staff there, um, you came there because you got in trouble. So they didn't know that I had been sober my children's whole life, my youngest. They didn't know that I had done everything that I was supposed to do. They didn't know any of that. They were just like, you're here, you did a crime, you need to take care of your consequence. And so it was that, if you loved your kids more, you wouldn't have came to prison. Well, my consequence from before my children were ever created or even thought of, and so just that in general was probably the hardest thing to carry in my heart. And really, I really had to like not carry any shame. And I mean, everyone has shame, but I really had to work through some things because that was an everyday thing. Like, if you loved your kids, you wouldn't be in prison. If you loved your family, you wouldn't have left your kids, or they wouldn't be going through what they went through. And the fact is that even in addiction, it doesn't mean you love your family, your friends any less. It's just you don't know about yourself yet. You don't have that self-love and that self-care yet, or you just don't have the tools to know how to give yourself proper self-love and self-care. Where I had learned throughout my recovery how to start loving myself. And I really focused that time while I was away on learning to love myself even more, to be even better mom when I came home. But the stigma of thinking that just because someone is taking time to take care of themselves means that they don't love their children, or that they're just like not a good parent or a good partner or a good family member. That's not the case at all. It's just sometimes people have to step away, and even when they don't want to, but it's what they do with that time while they're away. And so that's probably the biggest thing.
That is, I mean, the bravery that Victoria tells is in this story is really admirable for everybody. Carlos, did you learn something through telling her story that you may have had a different change of mind from when you went in? Did the story come out the way you expected it, or did you learn different things and the story shifted as time went on?
Um, I've had a preoccupation with the prison system in the US for a while. So unfortunately, I was pretty familiar with how it doubles down on punishment over rehabilitation almost at any chance it gets, because Victoria's story is a very specific one, is a very complicated one in terms of timeline, but the fact that she was waiting for sentencing for so long, it was such an important opportunity for to show that you can be merciful and you can understand and you can even not I don't want to say reward, but you could build, in this case, you could build a positive story for the community, saying like, hey, rehabilitation gives you some out of this whole thing, or you could build a double down punitive case where it doesn't matter what you do, you know you're still gonna go down if you get associated with a lifestyle that is ultimately hurting you. There's a quote that I have here that I always keep in mind, that Richard Sattler said, Purdue Pharma, big guy, that you basically flooded rural America with drugs, that says it's crazy. We have to hammer on the abusers in every way possible. They are the culprits and the problem. This is the guy that was selling like narcotics to, the country, and like making from children to adults, people just flat out to death. And he's saying, they are the culprits. So that state of mind, I did know before the film. Something that did surprise me, I think, was the how strong the community was. Because, in these rural counties, which stigma plays a bigger role than inner cities, uh, isolation plays a bigger role than in big cities. The fact that they all went through similar struggles. Every household and I encountered many, they all went through similar struggles, but they made a super strong community of helping each other out. And that to me was something I didn't understand how big that was going to be.
Amazing, Victoria. Without focusing on, I want to focus on the good parts, the happy parts. You can watch the film and get all the nitty gritty and the 7 years and all the time that you did and the trouble and all. But tell us about recovery. Tell us about your life now. Or am I giving away the end of the film? I don't want to spoil it, but tell us what worked for you and what advice do you have to people and families out here who may be going through the same thing you went through.
So I just graduated college 2 weeks ago with my AA for psychology. Whoop. I actually was at my last semester when I went in, and I wasn't able to complete it while I was there, so I had to retake it. And so I continued pushing forward. I did not give up. I continued with my dream that did not get up put on pause. I don't want to say it got put on pause. I actually built into it more by taking in everything around me. And so now I'm a peer recovery specialist in Minnesota. I work throughout the whole state, taking people to treatment, taking people out of treatment, walking alongside them in recovery outside of treatment centers as well in the community. I work hand in hand with all our different community agencies and resources, helping people get them to where they need to be and where they want to be, and just basically being there for them. And in turn, it builds into my own recovery. I really get to meet wonderful individuals. My children get to have a sober and happy and safe mom. And one who knows how to love herself. I really, I love my life. I love my life. I love my family. I love the ability to learn more and more. So I take different classes. I am forensically endorsed, so I can go into the prisons and out of the prisons to do peer support there as well. Yeah, I work alongside many facilities through my company that I work for, MMPRA. And one of the greatest things is really just seeing that I'm not standing alone, which I knew that before I went in, as Carlos pointed on, which was like, I have a very strong community. So like when I was visiting in New York, you know, a lot of people pass by each other, but like here where I live, it's like we're so small that you know the person on the other side of town. Like you know every household, you know, like we know, like we're there, like we're in the pot together. And so when one's hurting, everyone's hurting. And I will say that I'm super grateful. When I walked myself in, as it shows in the film, I wasn't standing alone. I had my community out there, I had my family there, I had people that I didn't even know standing there. And so now in turn, I use that motivation to keep pushing me through my time while I was away, to work on myself, to keep pushing through it because somebody took a chance on me and I've honored that. And I've continued pushing that through. So I work on a CRC board, a community research council. We review DOC policies and integrating reentry programs for families and inmates that are incarcerated, mothers, and different programs like that. I also am just involved in various things that I just love learning and integrating with community and connection.
Well, this film is the
So
film.
I go
Please.
ahead.
No, this film is a film for you to see success.
But yeah, so when I came home, so so you guys seen like the into it, and then the wonderful credits at the end were like snippets of my new life. And I will say, I remember walking out of the prison and in my yellow hood, just graduated from CIP boot camp because I went into the storm like, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, push-ups, running, you name it, to get home to my kids. So like no challenge was too tough because the value of what I was going to get coming home, there's no price on that. And so I really went through it. And so walking out those doors and seeing Carlos there with his camera, just like I did it and I didn't do it alone. And it was just the best feeling in the world.
It's going to be an amazing, inspiring story. And what I want you all to do is make sure you follow and stay up to date. Carlos, how can we support? We're not able to see it at Tribeca. How can we support a film like this? And this law and the debate of this law and Victoria's journey and what criminal justice system in as a whole in this country is something we need to talk so much more about. So, Carlos, tell us, how can we support the film?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing to support the film is, basically opening up our hearts and minds to this thing that actually happens here, and to laws that actually are positive, like the Healthy Start Act has helped Victoria, and that's the same in the same state in Minnesota. That is a very positive thing. Change is not something that we have to fabricate. It already exists and it's proven to work. We don't have to come up with this like, oh, how do we deal with this? This is gonna be really tough. It's not that tough. There's policy that is good, that exists, and you just have to watch out for that. In terms of watching the film, we're in Tribeca right now, of course. If you can make it to Tribeca, that's great. But just the fact there's a trailer online, there will be a website, and we will post that along. And any eyeballs we get on the film itself, and everything that the film is about is gonna be a great contribution.
So we'll be following you. We'll find all the information. Shout out to Unsinkable presenting Watch Over Us. Shout out to Luis Miranda. They do more than Hamilton in that family. They're out here. They're out here making films, and he's been an advocate for New York and a social advocate for a very long time prior to all of the showbiz.
Yeah, and yes, thank you for bringing that up because obviously Unsinkable is yeah, it's really hard making films. It's really hard making films about this kind of but when you have people in your corner, it's less hard, you know. Luis Miranda was you know, he really was such a help to John James and I. John James, Luz Miranda, and I, like, big help there. Luz Miranda-Crespo from Unsinkable, Michael Stolper, Eric Katsamemos, Kevin Yoshima, like Alex Lora. There's so many people that we were so grateful to have in our corner that made this happen, really.
Yeah, it's important. It's an important film to see. Victoria, how are the babies? How are your kids now?
Oh, they're wonderful. They are thriving and they just are so happy. One's gonna be, I swear Willow's gonna be a director. She has to analyze and speculate everything before she dives in. Lila, the twins, so Willow and Lila. Lila is gonna be a skydiver. She just dives in head first to anything. And then Arturo will be, he'll be the community person. Like, they're just so wonderful. I also have a grandson. That's the fourth child you see in the film. That was my grandson who was born while I was in prison, Ezra, and he is just such a love bug, just a cuddle. I came home to lots of little babies that I just love and adore, and then my 19-year-old Asia. I'm super grateful. They're all doing really well and happy that mom's home.
You can't be a grandmother. You look like you're 24 years old. What the heck is wrong?
I
What?
am a grandma. I am a grandma.
This interview is now over. I'm upset. What's your skincare routine? Everybody, I need you all to watch over us. Come to Tribeca. Congratulations for the thousands of films that have been submitted. For this film to be included means it's something special. So we'll be following and sharing. Kudos, Victoria, on your journey, and best
Thank
of
you.
luck to you. And Carlos, thanks for making such great art. We look forward to the next one. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.